it's too expensive. It's too expensive to leave versus what you would save and the regulations that you wouldn't have to go through and all the bullshit with all the permits and all the... What California does is overregulate everything. They get as much government involved as possible. They suck as much tax money out of you as possible. And then they still leave the place a mess. They still have homeless people everywhere. It's still a disaster. It's still a woke show of virtue signaling at every level of the government. Still. Like, no course correction at all. They're going further and further into la-la land. And you're like, Jesus Christ, you guys.
Storm in California might have died down, but guess who's still fuming at the top? Joe Rogan and Mel Gibson. These two are relentless, claiming Gavin Newsom dropped the ball and must be held accountable. On a recent Rogan podcast episode, they teamed up and let him have it. If you crave raw, unfiltered political firepower, this one's for you. Smash that subscribe button and let's get in.
State is just so poorly managed. It's so frustrating and confusing, and then he gets on TV and pretends like everything's great. Mm-hmm. And California's the best. We have the best state. We have the most amazing economy. I'm like, you're out of your mind, dude. You've ruined this state. Personally ruined.
Rogan kicked things off by ripping into the California governor for wasting his time in office. To Rogan, California should be a haven, a magnet for dreamers and doers from across the nation. Instead, people are bailing fast. Rogan himself left in 2020, fed up with the state's cancel culture where one wrong word could destroy your life, but that was just the warm-up. He claimed Newsom took a booming, opportunity-rich economy and ran it into the ground with a mix of bad leadership, knee-jerk policies, and performative politics. Crime's up, homelessness is rampant, businesses are bolting, and taxes are sky-high. To Rogan, Newsom is the poster boy for everything broken in progressive politics. Flash over function and ideology over real people. And this isn't Rogan's first rodeo. Back during the pandemic, he shredded Newsom and his team for gutting small businesses through a cascade of blunders.
Who was alive today had ever experienced a true pandemic. And I'm hoping that now that this is over, people are going to, recognize that some serious errors were made and not repeat those. That's the best you can get out of it. So what do you tell those people? Vote Republican.
Gavin Newsom's botched pandemic response was the final straw that led Joe Rogan to break ranks and suggest backing the Republican Party. Why? Because to Rogan, the Democrats fumbled. Hard. Endless lockdowns crushed mom-and-pop shops, fueled a mental health crisis, and barely slowed the virus. Schools stayed shuttered for months, stealing education from countless kids, especially the disadvantaged, despite low transmission risks. And those strict mask mandates? Rogan saw them as political theater, not science. He didn't mince words. Rogan tore into the left for silencing opposition, ignoring facts, and treating debate like a crime. Newsom, he argued, inherited a golden opportunity and turned it into a nightmare. Businesses gone, lives upended, freedoms erased. For Rogan, the pandemic didn't just reveal failure. It exposed the decay at the core of progressive leadership. More control, no common sense, and he's not backing down. Rogan even turned up the pressure on Newsom during the chaos of the recent California wildfire.
Guy's like standing in front of all this stuff, and he's got a smile on his face, and he's talking about land use.
The development plan.
Watch this. Play this. Give me.
I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
The big smile on his face. Look at the little wiggle he does with his shoulders. Speculator, watch this. Talking to Josh. Look at this. Look at this little wiggle. It's excited about the possibilities of speculators coming in. And he's saying we're move forward. We're going to move forward on that. These people lost their homes.
So now you get why Joe Rogan is calling on Californians to vote Republican, because leadership isn't about cameras and carefully staged optics. It's about stepping up when it counts. And when California was spiraling, Rogan remembers Arnold Schwarzenegger facing the chaos directly. No excuses, no spin. He owned it and tried to fix it. Gavin Newsom? He played the crisis like a political chess match. While shops were shuttering and families were losing everything, Newsom was out whining and dining, maskless at luxury spots, all while enforcing brutal mandates and eyeing a presidential run. Instead of leading with grit, he chased headlines and let chaos steamroll everyday Californians. That's why Rogan's anger hits home. It's not a red versus blue thing. It's a basic demand for real leadership. Someone with guts, truth, and a sense of duty. Californians don't need a slick politician. They need someone who actually gives a damn.
Gavin Newsom talks about California. He's like, I'm very big on California, very bullish on California. California has all this industry. Hey, they're all thinking about moving. The only reason why they don't move is because it's too difficult to move. If it was like every business could instantly pull up roots and replace everything and have everything running in a week at the other place, they'd all be gone.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back. He tore into Gavin Newsom, accusing him of turning California into a graveyard for small businesses. In Rogan's eyes, Newsom's version of leadership hasn't just harmed entrepreneurs, it's strangled them. First came Assembly Bill 5, a bureaucratic mess that reclassified freelancers and gig workers as employees. Translation: skyrocketing labor costs and a legal minefield for small operations. Then there's the flashy $20 an hour minimum wage. Sounds great on paper, but in reality it drained restaurants dry, forced layoffs, and triggered wave after wave of closures. And let's not forget the unemployment disaster. Thanks to Newsom's bungling, rampant fraud hit the system, and now businesses are getting slapped with payroll tax hikes they never agreed to. Rogan said it loud and clear. Instead of supporting business owners, Newsom stacked the deck against them with red tape, broken policies, and empty gestures. California, he warned, isn't a land of opportunity anymore, it's a cautionary tale. And Rogan wasn't done.
Expensive to leave versus what you would save, and the regulations that you wouldn't have to go through, and all the bull with all the permits and all the... What California does is overregulate everything. They get as much government involved as possible. They suck as much tax money out of you as possible. And then they still leave the place a mess. They still have homeless people everywhere. It's still a disaster. It's still a woke shit show of virtue signaling at every level of the government. Still. Like, no course correction at all. They're going further and further into la-la land. And you're like, Jesus Christ, you guys.
That's a man who's had it up to here with Gavin Newsom's administration. And really, can you blame him? With all the sweeping policies, suffocating regulations, and headline-chasing government initiatives, you'd expect California to be leading the country in quality of life. But it's not even close. Despite being one of the richest states in the nation, Californians are still wrestling with issues worse than those in many average states. Homelessness has exploded, with entire blocks in Los Angeles and San Francisco transformed into tent cities. Crime keeps rising in the big cities. Businesses are fleeing to states like Texas and Florida, where the climate is friendlier. And the skyrocketing cost of living is crushing the middle class. So what have all those progressive policies actually delivered? According to critics like Rogan, just bloated egos in Sacramento, and a state drifting further from the once glorious California dream. And he's not the only one speaking out. Actor Mel Gibson has also joined the chorus, calling for Newsom to go.
Karen Bass have already proven their incompetence and poor leadership during the Los Angeles wildfires. Now, as we experience rampant lawlessness and civil unrest, it's never been more clear they're unable to respond effectively and responsibly during calamity. Whether it's sheer incompetence or outright malevolence, the reality is stark. California's in a state of turmoil. And I asked my fellow Angelinos, why are Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass still in office?
And didn't hold back. He went straight for the jugular. Vote Gavin Newsom out. And he wasn't just stirring the pot. He meant every word. His breaking point came when Newsom stood idle as ICE protests spiraled into chaos. What started as peaceful demonstrations quickly descended into lawless rampages, looting, smashed storefronts, and communities left in ruins. While Newsom played the political game, Gibson blasted him for choosing ideology over responsibility. Instead of stepping up and deploying proper security to protect lives and property, Newsom sided with the protesters and looked the other way when violence broke out. To Gibson, this wasn't just a lapse in judgment. It was outright negligence. Californians weren't begging for a crackdown. They just wanted peace, safety, and a governor who had their backs. But Newsom, Gibson argued, couldn't even clear that bar. Instead of fixing the mess his leadership created, Newsom was busy daring border czar Tom Homan to arrest.
Hands off these poor people just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes. Been here 10 years. The fear, the horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
Arresting one person would magically undo the chaos he helped unleash during the ICE protests. It's laughable. Just another staged stunt by Gavin Newsom, crafted to sell the illusion that he's some kind of hard-nosed leader. But peel back the photo ops and the flashbulbs, and you've got a politician obsessed with appearances, not outcomes. Newsom's protest response wasn't leadership. It was desperate damage control. I watched from the sidelines as cities burned, property was destroyed, and faith in government crumbled. Then, when the public backlash hit, he flipped the narrative and posed as the tough guy. It's the definition of hypocrisy. If he truly cared, he would have worked with the federal government to resolve immigration bottlenecks, legally, humanely, and effectively. He could have led with real reform that secures borders while giving immigrants a fair path forward. But that takes guts. And that's exactly what Newsom lacks. Meanwhile, John Voight wasn't shy. He had some pointed words for the California governor, too.
You're a fool, blaming Trump. What are you doing for this destruction of these animals destroying Los Angeles? Are you there, talking calmly with them, you fool? They would burn you down like they're burning the cars and the American flag, with no regard for humanity. This is not about Trump. This is about protecting the people from these animals and criminals trying to destroy us. And our police force, are they supposed to stand there, let rocks hit them and kill them? Who's going to save them? You? You're a disgrace. You're nothing but a lying dog for the hopes of becoming the president one day.
A record like this, it's almost laughable to picture Gavin Newsom as the Democratic Party's torchbearer for 2028. California, blessed with wealth, innovation, and boundless talent, has floundered under his watch. If he can't keep one state from spiraling into economic chaos, homelessness, and rising crime, how could anyone trust him with the reins of the entire country? Newsom seems far more at home managing headlines than managing results. His ideas might sparkle on paper, but in the real world, they crumble. He preaches progress while businesses flee, schools falter, and regular Californians are left cleaning up the mess. Real leadership isn't about smooth talk and press clips, it's about results you can see and feel. So when talk turns to Newsom as a future president, it's a red flag. If this is his blueprint for governance, America simply can't afford to let him scale it nationwide. His tenure is a crash course in failed leadership, policies that damage more than help, style over substance, and chaos dressed up as reform. From Joe Rogan to Mel Gibson, critics aren't buying it. If he can't steer California, he has no business steering the country. Voters are starting to see it. And that wraps up today's video. If you liked what you saw, smash that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.